labeled as the messiah of the poor, the man who could do no wrong, the man who ensured that many poor people, many laborers who were left stranded during the lockdown reached home. He was hailed as that hero from the film industry, which had seen a lot of change post the Sushant Singh Rajput case, post the allegations of drugs that were made. Hello everyone, I'm Arunima, and you guessed it right. Today we're talking about Sonu Sood. Joining me to discuss the income tax, searches that have been carried out, Ashish Medicine, tax income tax department, very closely. Also, Mihir is here with me on the show. Keeps a close eye on the film industry. Thank you to both of you for joining us. Ashish, if you can clarify first, the income tax department reached Sonu Sood's premises, I think both in Mumbai as well as in Lucknow. What exactly were they looking for?
Well, in fact, it's very early to comment, Arunima. I have been speaking to my sources in the income tax department, and interestingly, I know the person who's conducting searches as of now, who's heading this probe. Now, the person who I've been speaking to on a regular basis says that we usually knock the door of the income tax by the of somebody by the income tax department only when we have enough evidence to show, because the case has to stand in the court of law as well. If they have sufficient evidence to prove that there is a tax evasion. Now, obviously Sonu Sood, the kind of personality he is, there are question marks. There are question marks, reason being that he has recently become a mentor and he had a recent meeting with Arvind Kejriwal as well. So there is obviously a political twist. He joined, he became a brand ambassador for the school program of Aam Aadmi Party. But then the income tax department usually does not knock the door until and unless there is enough evidence with them. So let's see how things move forward, Arunima. It's too early to comment what kind of tax evasion it is. I just spoke, in fact, half an hour back, I spoke to a source in income tax department. They said it's too early to comment. Searches are still continuing since yesterday. And once it is all done, then we may be able to share some details with you.
Mihir, any word from the man himself? Has Sonu Sood spoken?
Absolutely not, Arunima. At this point, there's absolute silence from Sonu Sood camp, and right outside his residence, where also income tax officials had come and carried on the survey, which kind of really made headlines yesterday. We really don't know at this point whether that will continue, whether we'll see more tax officials entering this very premises where Sonu Sood has been living with his family. But yes, they did visit several of his properties in Mumbai, be it his offices or his residential place. Also, what we know that Sonu Sood, actually has redefined himself. He's not only an actor, but now usually referred to as the messiah of migrants, and then carried on with his calling as far as making a difference in this world and working towards the welfare of humanity on a larger extent. He has been associated to several good causes and has started his own charity where he's trying to, help out people who are needy, students who belong to the marginalized society, who require that kind of push and financial support, to make a difference and to make their lives. So he has been associated to several good causes in this particular brief year and a half, and that has had a complete image makeover for Sonu Sood, who's regarded as someone who's clearly a messiah of sorts, but then he's run into trouble with government, be it state government, and it appears with the center, with the income tax coming in picture. But with the BMC also, he had this one big issue in Mumbai where his alleged property in Juhu area was a residential complex which was used for lodging and boarding, which kind of had a big purchase going, and that way there was some trouble for Sonu Sood. And today we are seeing that he's been he's seeing tax officials knocking at his door. It's like Ashish was mentioning, it's unclear at this point whether it's money laundering or something else. that investigation is going on. Those surveys and raids are being carried on. But as far as Sonu Sood
Okay.
is concerned, and several of his closed one would kind of link it as a political agenda, considering he sat on that press conference with
Yes.
Arvind Kejriwal
We'll
to
talk about
support
that.
a cause.
We'll talk about that. Just give me a moment because I want clarification from Ashish. Is this a search or is this a survey? Because from what I understand, there is a technical difference between the two. A search is when you can even reach the residence of the person and seize whatever the income tax officers want to seize. A survey is more limited. You can only lay your hand on the account books and it is limited to your place of work. Am I right?
Well, there is an absolute difference. You're absolutely correct. These both survey and the search are under different sections of the Income Tax Act 1956. Survey, excuse me, survey usually is basically, you knock at the doors of somebody, or make it, maybe you can look at the business premises, or even the residential premises. You can look at the accounts book. But then, in case there is a raid, if a raid is conducted or a search is conducted, they have the right, under the Income Tax Act, even to break the lock, or they can break the lock of the door, they can break the lock of the safe, they can get into the bank accounts, they can go to the bank and look at the lockers as well. I can confirm as of now, because I have been speaking
Hmm.
to the senior source who have been conducting these searches. It's a raid. It's not a survey. So it is absolutely a raid. 6
Okay.
locations were raided, and since yesterday till as we speak, as of now, the raids are still continuing.
So, Mihir, you that is residents, have you spotted the income tax sleuths there? Their vehicles are visible because, like Rashish is confirming, day two of these raids, these are no longer surveys. So it's not no longer an action which is not coercive. This is coercive action that is now being taken.
Absolutely. If it is a raid, then the raid will continue, Arunima. At this point, we are not seeing any tax official cars in here, but it could be possible that they could be taking turns. If it's a raid, then they really don't leave the premises until they are convinced or find what they are looking for. However, there is no security as such outside his residential property. Like I mentioned, the Sonu Sood has several properties in Mumbai. He has offices at several locations. There is this residence of his in Mumbai's Lokhandwala area. There is one particular multi-story building which ran into trouble with the BMC for being a residential complex and turned into a boarding and lodging kind of outfit.
Right.
There could be income tax officials at all these places if they are looking for something specific. And at this point, we really don't see any cars of income tax. But from what I understand is that if it is a proper raid, then income tax officials will not leave the premises unless they are convinced or find get their hands on what they want. It will be in
Right.
rotation basis. So we'll have to wait and watch to see some sort of activity at this place, and I'm right here, so we'll get you all the updates
Right.
on that.
Mir, if you can shed some light on Sonu Sood's work profile, if his income is being assessed, has there been any change, a known change in his source of income? We do know that he's done a lot of charity work during the time of lockdown, during the time of COVID, some of which you mentioned. But if the income tax is looking whether he's evaded tax, the tax evasion case is made out, is there some visible change in his source of income and his work?
Uh, in this last year and a half, Sonu Sood really had this image makeover of sorts with the kind of things he has implemented and how he stepped on the streets, not only providing donations to people but also helping them in a greater way, which has had a very positive impact on his goodwill and image in the industry. And as far as an actor is concerned, an image is everything. It really draws a lot of advertisement. It draws a lot of brands, promotions. So that way, Sonu Sood has been lucky in several aspects. We really don't know the amount of difference it's made, but yes, we have been constantly hearing from industry insiders that a lot of brands have been kind of tilted towards Sonu Sood with the kind of new redefinement that we come out with. Many filmmakers are now interested in having him in his film because it's Sonu Sood and not only just an actor but much more to the society at this point due to his welfare work that he carried on in the pandemic. And that will really make a lot of difference in his bank balance also. It remains to be seen, and it is a matter of investigation for the IT department whether there has been some tax evasion at this point. But we also know that Sonu Sood has been really helping people in a greater way, and there were certain reports which really suggested that he has, he's not only helping people by asking for sponsorships and others to step in, but he's also putting some of his own property on stake on loan and has sold it
Right,
and got that money to help people in time of need. So at this
right,
point, we know that there could be a significant increase in his income and wealth over the last few years, considering his image
right.
makeover. But there is no exact figure to it. And that is something
Okay.
that will be investigated if there is some sort of tax
His
evasion
brand
involved
value
in it.
definitely has gone up. His brand value, because of the charity that he has been doing, has definitely gone up. But on that note of selling property, Ashish, do come in. This is a Lucknow property which is under the scanner. And is that the reason the IT department has reached Sonu the doorstep? How is the
Again,
department defending itself against
Arunima,
allegations of this being political?
Arunima, whenever there is a raid, all properties are covered. So, in case that property has been purchased recently or in the past, obviously it will come under the scrutiny. But again, I will say it's too early to comment. Income tax has knocked the door of Sonu Sood because the income tax department is absolutely tight-lipped as of now. What I can
Okay.
at least say that the people who are involved in the search operation as of now, I know these people for a very long time, and they usually do not do a search operation until unless there is absolute evidence in their hand, because if you have to knock somebody's door, you have to have some evidence, because the case has to stand on its legs in the court of law as well. So by evening today, once the search is completed, once the search gets complete, I am anticipating that the searches might get complete by today late evening. By tomorrow we should have some
Hmm.
details about the properties or what is the kind of tax evasion. There is NGO also which he runs, so there is a chance that the kind of money that came into the NGO, we don't know whether the source of that funds, was it is it clean or not, who are the people behind, all that needs to be seen. So there are so many things which it is just anticipation, because the income tax department is not giving details as of now. Let things move on. I believe by today evening the searches will get complete. By tomorrow we should have some information on why searches were conducted in Chernobyl.
Right. So at this stage, what we know for sure? One thing we know is these are not surveys, these are searches, which means that the income tax department believes it has concrete reasons to knock on the doors of Sonu Sood and figure out if there has been an evasion of taxes. Second, we are yet to know what Sonu Sood thinks of this matter. A statement from his side is still awaited. Third, multiple locations are being raided, and we are expecting clarity on what the income tax has found in its searches, like Ashish is saying, in the next 12 to 15 hours. Thank you, Ashish and Vinny, for joining us. We just have to wait and see how the IT department defends itself against allegations that are being made. That one of the reasons Sonu Sood is being targeted is also because his recent meeting with Arvind Kejriwal. Is there politics involved, or is this purely procedural? We'll have to wait and see. Keep watching this space. Thanks for watching.